you know, we sat as a team like, okay, look, to have like an app, we're gonna have to chop up our verses so we can make room for these other folks. So Tab said the awesomest sentence, like whatever's right for the song. It's not about my verse, whatever's right for the song. So I thank you for that, like for real. A lot of times you can get real egotistical even for things that mean something. You see the worst in things, even for good causes. Even for the right thing, it brings out the worst. You start seeing true colors of like why people do things. And you know, I'm blessed to have good friends like Tab. I'm gonna start crying and stuff, but I have good friends. We are here, and we've seen a lot. We were all broke together.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
When he said broke, when Will says broke, I was born in the Philippines in a small town called Sacramento, Angeles City, and I was sponsored as a kid. And I was signed up in this foundation called Proles Buck Foundation. And if you've seen those commercials on TV, send 75 cents a day to a kid in the Philippines to put them through education. And I was one of those. I was in one of those programs, and got to the U.S. in '89. And my adopted father, Joe Ben Hudgens, was roommate with Will I Am's uncle. And when and I wasn't enrolled in school yet, and Will's uncle was like, "Oh, Joe, my sister Deborah could take care of Alan until he's enrolled in school." So they took me to East LA, and the first person I met from the Philippines is Will, and they took me to East LA, the projects, and you know, I was sitting on the couch. Just imagine coming from 10,000 miles away from the Philippines, now in the US, in East LA, and I wasn't really fluent in English yet, and now I'm sitting in a couch like in East LA, and Will comes out from his bedroom, and he's like, "So you're from the Philippines? What do you do there?" And I was like, "Oh, I just learned this dance move called the Running Man on a Pepsi commercial." It's like, "What? You know how to do the Running Man? Show it to me." I was like, "Okay."
you know that's a truth.
And the rest is history. And we didn't have jelly. We just had peanut butter in the Philippines. And when I had jelly for the first time, I'm like, "Oh, you could add jelly in a peanut butter? Oh, peanut butter and jelly."
No. I said, "Yo, you want something to eat?" And he was like, "Sure." So I made him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And he was like, "That's disgusting." I'm like, "What are you talking about, bro? Like, it's peanut butter and jelly." So he didn't know a lick of English. He was an ESL, English like a second language, and for a teenager, that's not the coolest thing. So I teared up because like we've seen the lowest of the lows. Like Apple, I was in the projects, and my friends were getting shot by police officers. My friends were getting shot by other rival gangs, and Apple was like, "I want to live in the projects." I was like, "You don't want to live in the projects." He was like, "Where I'm from is worse. We pump water off the ground and drink. We wash our clothes in the river by the rocks." I thought he was over-exaggerating until the day we went back to the Philippines, and he was pumping water out the ground to drink. I'm like, "Yo, App, we're successful now. How come you don't want to move to a nice neighborhood?" He was like, "I want to make my neighborhood nice." And that's when I was like, "Yo, dude, I'm so glad you're my friend."
Yeah, so as you guys are seeing there is the history that we had and continue to have as friends, as brothers. You know, for me, it's a blessing to have such great friends and great brothers doing what we've been talking about since we were teenagers. You know, we started Black Eyed Peas when we were very young. I had a son at 17 years old, and I really didn't know, like, you know, what my outlet was gonna be, but when I met Will and Apple, Will always gave me that drive and that belief to say, Tab, we're gonna do this. And no matter if I was working at Disneyland